Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, man. I am your host, Scott Lewis. You know to follow me on all social media platforms at BarbChair Scott. Welcome to everything we do here. It's the Friday show, the live show. You can follow Barber's Chair at Barber's Chair Co. All of those links are in the description box. Please press subscribe to the YouTube. Please subscribe to the Patreon. Quick announcement. So the Monday show that's on Patreon will now be dropping Tuesday mornings. Be pre-recorded as usual. Be recorded sometime on the Monday before, and it'll drop on Tuesday. So look out for that. It'll be more than just me now. We have not fired Courtney. She will be on a couple of these episodes. So look out for that on the Barber's Chair Patreon. The link is in the description box. If you're too lazy to scroll down, the QR code is right there on the screen. Scan the code. It'll take you to all of the different tiers we got. Subscribe to the $10 Barber's Chair All Access feed or the $5 I'm Not Gonna Hold You tier, which will give you access to everything we're doing with I'm Not Gonna Hold You Patreon content. And of course, subscribe to my YouTube channel, man. The road to 1,000 subscribers. Help me get there. So please help your boy out, man. So right now, I'm going to bring in my esteemed co-host, the one and only JR Bang. You can follow him at JR Bang on all social media platforms. And we've got the homie Dante in the building. You can follow him at October's Own Tay. How you gentlemen feeling?
Feeling good, man. It's Friday.
I'm great, man. I can't complain at all.
That is pretty good, man. Let's just start into it. We got a new segment called I'm Not Gonna Hold You. Very creative segment naming right there. But pretty much, man, we just gonna take this 5-10 minutes at the beginning of each show, kind of give y'all our thoughts on anything that we got on our mind. It could be sports related, entertainment related, or just life related shit. So I don't know what you guys got, but I wanted to start off talking about the Chicago Bulls. So I'm just going to go ahead and start that self right now. I'm going to give myself the ISO. All right, man. So let's talk about it. The Bulls have just completed the worst month in their over 70-year history. I don't 100% know how many years they've been around, but they have gone 11 straight losses. They are now firmly in the tank race to get one of those first 4 draft picks. Of course, you know this is going to be a very loaded NBA draft with talent, probably 4 to 5 movers and shakers who can actually change franchises, something that the Bulls have not had since Derrick Rose, whose jersey is now in the rafters, which tells you how long ago that was. I see a lot of Bulls fans complaining, and here's my issue with this. I don't like to blame fans. Well, not all the time. Sometimes I do. But for Bulls fans, I think you deserve a little blame. And I'm going to say this. The people who go to the games, the people who still watch this trash every other night, people who buy the merchandise, people who take their kids to see this crap, you're partially to blame because you're putting more money into the Reinsdorf money pile, which keeps them thinking, oh, everything is good. I don't have to put together a winner. And then you go in here and act like, why are the Bulls losing? Well, number one, they made a lot of trades. And when you have the lack of talent they have right now, this is what you need to happen. So you can put yourself in position to get a higher draft pick to get you players that are worth a damn. Now, I saw a tweet that really riled me up at like 7 o'clock in the morning. And I usually don't rant that early in the morning, but I was already up checking the Champions League bracket, seeing where Arsenal landed at. So I was already up. And I saw that somebody said, well, I understand Bulls fans want to tank. But what if we end up being the Sacramento Kings? I'll excuse me. They are the Sacramento Kings. They've been the Sacramento Kings for basically the last decade. And if you even want to just shrink it a little bit and just go to the AK Mark Eversley era, they've been worse than the Sacramento Kings. The Sacramento Kings made the playoffs at least 2 times over these last 5 seasons, while the Bulls have made it 1. If you want to count that, because they got absolutely steamrolled by the Milwaukee Bucks. There's some Bulls fans who act like we're above the bottom feeders of the NBA. We are not. We are the bottom feeders of the NBA. This is an irrelevant franchise. A franchise that shouldn't be irrelevant. A franchise that should be talked about as much as you hear about the Los Angeles Lakers, as much as you hear about the Boston Celtics, the most you hear about the Philadelphia 76ers or the Golden State Warriors. The Golden State Warriors been mediocre since they won their last championship 4 years. But they're still around talking. The Bulls, if you take away the Jordan era, they were trash before him. If you take away the 3 years that Derrick Rose was actually healthy, they were trash after. Since old Cheese Eyes left United Center 28 years ago at this point. So if you're 28 to 30, you remember nothing of the golden years. I don't even remember that much about it. I remember the last 3 championships vividly because I'm 37. But I was like 10 at the last one. So I have only very small memories. I know a very vast majority of the game-going fans don't remember anything about it. They have made the playoffs, not made the playoffs. They have won 4 playoff series in the time that Michael Jordan has left. They have only been to an Eastern Conference final 1 time. They have not been to the NBA Finals since Bill Clinton was in his final era. I can't think of the word right now. His final term. This is who the Bulls are. Don't act like it's shocking. They're trash, and they're going to continue to be trash. And if there is an even small glimmer of hope, they have to be trash to get better in the lottery. That's all I got. I'm not saying this is going to work because like me and Bang always say, what does West Side West do? I don't even see him. I saw him in the vlog when they got Sexton. And I was like, oh, snap. He does have a Advocate Center key card. Outside of that, man, this is just what it is. So I just wanted to rant on the Bulls because that was actually pissing me off this morning. Y'all got anything to say about that or anything else you want to talk about that y'all been on y'all mind?
I would say I had said the same thing on my my new joint. With that being said, I'm more mad at fans complaining about the Bulls being bad. That's what you wanted, right? You want them to tank. We've been wanting them to tank for the past 5, 6 years. So enjoy the tank. That's it. This team sucks. They're gonna suck. We want them to suck. We want Peterson or or AJ, Lil Boozer. We want somebody. Pete. We want somebody. But for people to be complaining at the Bulls being terrible, that was the whole point. This is the whole point. And we want them to be epically terrible because we thought they started too late. We were nervous. We was like, yo, this is too late in the game for you to tank. Now look, ain't won a game all February. Let's go ahead and do it again for March, April, and let that lottery ball pause, work in our favor and get one of those top 4 picks and start this over. Like, stop complaining, fans. This is what we wanted. We want them to suck.
Exactly. That's exactly where I'm at with it. I just feel like some Bulls fans live in La La Land where they act like this team still matters when they really don't. And I don't know when they're gonna matter because I don't see the Reinsdorf team selling the team. It's not like the White Sox where there's a succession plan. The Bulls are a cash cow and will continue to be a cash cow. They keep selling us stuff from the 1990s. And yeah, when I think about the Bulls, I just get irrationally angry. Like, even with the White Sox, as bad as they are, they're the White Sox. And I hate to say this, but they really don't mean that much in the grand scheme of the Major League Baseball. You're the Chicago Bulls. You shouldn't be this bad. It's ridiculous. Dante, anything you want to rant on? Anything outside of this?
I'm gonna tap in with this a little bit. You know what? Actually, I take that back because we got a lot of show to get into today. Only thing I'm gonna say is shout out to T.I. for actually rapping. You know, I really appreciate that. There's a lot of tweeting going on, a lot of different conversations. He was really rapping. I know some people will say it's excessive, some say we don't need it, but I appreciate it. You know, he went into the booth and did what needed to be done, defended his family, and I really appreciate that. So, you know, it's been a relatively chill week outside of that, but no, shout out to T.I. for actually rapping.
Well, it was a chill week for you, but because T.I.'s been rapping, it has been a busy week for me. And for anybody that's in the Atlanta area, and for anybody that's in the Atlanta area, birthday bash, 30 years of birthday bash, May 24th, State Farm Arena in Atlanta. T.I. will be the headliner. Y'all make sure y'all go ahead and get y'all tickets.
You got tickets, babe?
I will be there.
Okay.
I might be able to
that. That wasn't the question.
I respect. I respect that because people ask me the same shit. So you gotta ask. You don't want to send nobody off.
Camera might be able to secure some things.
So holler at me off cam. Holler at me off cam. I'm done with concerts. I've seen everybody I need to see. Like the only artists, like unless Tupac and Biggie come back alive and like do a tour with Michael Jackson, there's nobody else I really want to see. I've seen Jay-Z mad times. I've seen Beyonce. I've seen Rihanna. I've seen T.I. I saw Breezy. I've seen Kanye before he lost his marbles. I've seen everybody. So I'm kind of good on concerts right now. I've seen Future. I've seen Migos more time than I count. Every time I saw the Migos, I never paid for it. It just, Migos performing here. You trying to pull up?
Yeah. I never seen Beyonce, bro. I still got to.
Incredible. Best performer I've seen.
I believe it.
And I'm a Hove stand. And if I want a Hove to get off the stage, that tells you a lot.
Hove. Nah, I mean, most rappers are not great performers. They just walk around the stage and just play.
That's true. He said the Celtics are a successful franchise, and really so why the Bulls can't be so. Have you heard of Jerry Reinsdorf?
Right.
There's really no other answer for that. Why did Jerry Reinsdorf do anything? Anyway, let's take a look at what we're going to be talking about today with our rundown, man. Rundown brought to you by absolutely nobody. We're going to talk a lot of Bears. The Bears with the NFL Combine this week. So Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson, that's with comments that got my spidey senses tingling. We're going to talk about how to rebuild the defensive line. I'm hearing some stuff today that some Bears fans ain't going to want to hear. So we're going to talk about that in just a minute. Could Trent Williams be coming to the Windy City? We'll be talking about that. Of course, the many daily annoying Bears new stadium updates. Malik Willis is out here looking for $30 million a year. So we're going to talk about how the QB market is stepped on. Could Aaron Rodgers be returning to the NFC North, but in the waters of Lake Minnetonka? We'll be talking about that. And then Dante is going to let us know just how close are we to an MLB lockout. So that's what we're going to be talking about on today's episode of the show. So let's just get right into it with the Chicago Bears stuff, man. So the Bears are in Indianapolis right now for the NFL Combine. They did 2 media sessions on Tuesday. Ryan Poles, Ben Johnson met with national media, and they also did a separate one with just Chicago media. And there was a lot of things said. 2 things that stood out to me. One, Ben Johnson looks way more comfortable than he did last year. He's making jokes. You can tell he's way more confident than Caleb, saying that he was messing with him before the celebrity 3-point contest, and feels like he's spoken into existence about his poor performance. So he just looks like more calm. But the thing that stood out to me was him and Ryan Poles didn't hit us with the usual coach, general manager speak that you usually get during these type of press conferences. And they explicitly talked about the futures of certain Bears players. DJ Moore was brought up, Tyson Bagent was brought up, and even some of these defensive guys like Kevin Byard, Tremaine Edmonds. And the thing that stood out to me about DJ Moore was Ryan Poles saying that we love DJ, we love what he brings to the team, we would love to bring him back, but we got to keep scenarios open with the tight space that we have to be able to make additions to the roster. I took that as we would get rid of him for the right deal. Now, same thing with Tyson Bagent. This is something that Ben Johnson said they feel like he's one of the best 32 quarterbacks in the NFL, and they'll love to find a way to get him more playing time, but they also just don't want to give him away. And from what I'm hearing today, the Bears don't want to let Tyson Bagent walk for anything less than a second rounder. We'll get into the QB market stuff later in the show. I don't know if the Bears can get that for a backup, but maybe they will with how the market is. And of course, Tremaine Edmonds, the Bears gave him permission to facilitate a trade. Like I said on like I said on Saturday Night the Hallis, I do not feel anybody's going to give up draft capital to get a linebacker who missed a couple games last year and who's pushing 30 in a position that's really not a premium position in the NFL anymore. I would expect him to get cut before the new league year starts, or right when it starts, and the Bears will save about $15 million. So I keep my eye on that one. But what I'm hearing about DJ Moore today, I'm hearing there's an 80 to 85% chance he gets traded. Now, y'all know how I feel about DJ. I don't want to get rid of DJ for anything less than maybe a Max Crosby package, or if we're daydreaming, something involving Myles Garrett. And I'm not saying like he's that caliber of player that matches that. I'm just saying I would give him up in a package for that. But the Bears are facing not a lot of wiggle room to try to rebuild this defensive line and this defense. There was some optimism about Kevin Byard getting the deal. Not to say that it still won't happen, but word is that it's not as much of a guarantee as it was a couple weeks ago. Brad Biggs is saying that he doesn't think the Bears are going to offer Jaquan Brisker a contract at all. So they're definitely going to have to tinker with the secondary as well. So I guess that means you're going to have to get rid of guys like DJ Moore, which would be very disappointing for me because, one, I like DJ. I think DJ is a really good receiver. And I'm just not 100% confident in Rome Odunze yet. I don't know if Rome can carry the burden that the team needs him to carry right now. He needs to catch the ball more. All them drops got to stop. He got to stay healthy, and he's got to get better with the 50-50 balls. And if you look at the rookie last year, Luther Burden, really good rookie season, but can he do that again with the defenses having a game plan for him? So I thought it was very interesting to see them kind of be more open with their thoughts. Bang, what did you think about from what you heard from Ryan Poles and Ben Johnson, and what do you think about these potential departures?
They really spoke in the way that I wanted them to speak. They spoke in a way of last year's over with. We're looking to upgrade this team. There's some areas of concern that we do have. We have some players who we love, but they might not make it next year. Love you, but sad to see you go. That's what I want to hear. See, the thing about Bears fans is we always like to hoard talent or people that we think that's talented. There's probably a Bears fan that's like, oh, we can't get rid of Tremaine Edmonds. He led the linebackers in interceptions and all of those other things. Like that's when you know your team is good, when you have to make hard choices on who you keep. And shave down money and all of that. So they didn't go overboard. They let us know who might and might not be around and all that. Now the DJ Moore thing, I'm not so sure. that DJ Moore will get traded. I feel like a redo of the contract is probably more likely than not. I don't, and quite honestly, I will say this. I've said this every year during this time I've been on this show. I don't trust no word that comes out of the combine. It's a lot of lying. It's going to be a lot of lying that's going on every side, from the player side, from coach's side, from GM side. Every organization is lying right now because they're trying to put themselves in position to get what they want to get. That being said, um, it's going to take getting back some capital to get some capital. And in order for DJ to get traded, we better be getting something. Because you're right, I don't trust Roma Dunze to be the number one right now. And even though I love Luther Burden, I don't trust him to be the number one or number two by themselves right now. There's no vet inside of that wide receiver room. So there's many reasons why I believe that DJ Moore will be back with the Chicago Bears for at least one more go around, because they can retouch that contract and they need a vet inside of that room.
Yeah, the only thing I would push back on a little bit is, yes, at the combine is liar central. Combine is, girl, let me tell you what I heard. That's exactly what that is in NFL form. But from the people I've been hearing from, because from what I'm hearing, it's not just a money thing. Because if it was just a money thing, obviously you just restructure the contract. They want capital.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why I'm inclined to think it's probably more true. I personally hope it's wrong.
Yeah,
I don't want DJ to go.
No, that we both agree. I just don't think they're gonna get it. I just don't think they're gonna get it, because in order for that to happen, if they're going big game fishing, because I do like that Ryan Poles said, yo, we making calls. Like, unless it is Max Crosby and John Spatek, the GM of the Raiders, say they talk every day. And he said he ain't going nowhere. And it's going to be hard to pry Myles Garrett away from the Browns. If it ain't one of them two, what we doing it for? Is basically my point.
Nah, I 100% agree with that. I thought it was weird too that Biggs also said in his report this morning that a lot of the agents said they haven't spoken from the Bears, which is interesting to me. One thing I will say about Ryan Poles before I get down to your opinion on this is he always has something up his sleeve. Like, he don't really show his hand. So the fact that he's showing his hand makes me think he's going another direction. Like it's a smoke screen. So I'm really interested to see what's going to be like the first domino when, I guess, March 12th comes. I think the first one will be Tremaine Edmonds getting cut. I think that's clear as day. But I'm really interested to see. I'm really interested to see what it's going to be like. Dante, what's your thoughts on what you heard from Poles and what you heard from Ben Johnson?
Oh, no, I loved it. I think it's one of those things where, like, dangling bait, letting people know certain things are possible. But I think it's what we expected. Like you said, DJ Moore, even though, blaming him on that last play, even though a lot of us believe he was concussed, we all felt like that could have possibly been his last play as a Chicago Bear. And so, now to hear this is nothing new. With the cap situation being what it is, even though we all believe that, salary cap is more so a suggestion. It's not something that really, stops people from doing things, because you can always convert money into guaranteed money into bonuses and things like that give you more opportunity and more wiggle room. So the players that have been named and mentioned, I'm not shocked. I think with Bajent, it's more so trying to sell high. Like, a backup is a backup. You need your backup to win 2 games. So yes, you keep gassing him. He's really important. We really need you need a backup who can win 2 games. It ain't got to be Tyson. It could be insert name here. And like, I know Chicago, we fall in love with backups, but if you can get a 3rd, 4th round pick for Tyson Bajent, I know some people think a second. I'm okay with that. Like, I'll gladly take that. Use that to fill a spot on the roster that we need. So from everything I heard, I really liked it. I think it's one of those situations where, again, we're ahead of schedule. Like, based on everything that happened last year, I like how Poles didn't flat out say, Caleb's the guy, even though we all know he's the guy. Like, we saw some things like, come on, bro, we know this is it. But I think we're in a very good position where the salary cap is not really an issue, and they have the flexibility to move those things. I think DJ Moore will either be a Oakland Raider, or my sleeper pick is a New York Giant, because remember that New York Giant defensive line is a little bit crowded, and you pay a guy like Thibodeau, you draft a guy like Abdul last year, you're gonna have to give him the opportunity to see if he is who you think he is. So they're gonna have to make some room. So there's gonna be pieces out there to move for. So we didn't see the Joe Thuney trade coming last year. You never know what Post is gonna do. So I think a move will be made. And I like everything I've heard so far. So I'm really excited to see what happens after the combine. First day of the league, official, league season. People start getting cut. You start seeing different moves made. And I think they're going to really fill out this roster. Also, I like, I know it's random, and we can get into a little bit of this later, but did y'all see the interview with the defensive line coach? I'm sorry, the offensive line coach.
Oh, yeah.
When he was talking about left tackle and just being brutally honest about that. So I think that's a move that I wouldn't be shocked we make. But
yeah, and real quick on the Tyson Bagent thing, at the end of the day, anything you get for Tyson Bagent, you won. He was an undrafted free agent. And whether it's a second or a third, you won. You groomed a quarterback, that's what you want to do, and you want to trade that quarterback for capital. So whether it's a second or a third, what helps the Bears is that this quarterback free agent class is ass. That's one. And Ben saying that he feels like Bagent is one of the 32 best quarterbacks in the NFL, and I wouldn't want to lose him. Nah, fam. Go ahead and push that joint up. You looking at Arizona and you saying, hey, you can have him. Give me a second or a third. I really want a second because we love him and he ain't got to go nowhere. But he's also on a 2-year, $10 million contract. So this is a cheap quarterback option that you have right now, and you trying to get rid of Kyler Murray, and you need a quarterback. So go ahead and come and get him because we got him for cheap, and you could get him for a second or a third. That's what that is, and that's a move that I wouldn't mind happening. And if it does happen, then the Bears is going to draft a quarterback in the draft, so people don't be all, what, the Bears? And they're going to groom and grow. And this is, I think, Scott, what we've talked about too on this show is how you should be drafting quarterbacks. And you should be drafting them to groom them and getting them out of here. And if that happens with Bagent and you bring somebody else in, that is great. I love that potential right there. Arizona, go ahead and spend that bread.
And that was something that Ryan Poles actually brought up, talking about always stashing quarterback talent and how proud they were to be able to find a guy like Tyson. So that's interesting to me too. So also when it comes to rebuilding this deal, I've had like I won't call it debate, kind of like a nice conversation with our boy Mikey. And basically the message that Ryan Poles is spinning out, that he's not going to be a big player in free agency and they're going to try to tinker with this defensive line by a trade or two here and going fully in the draft. You were talking about DANTE, we're a year ahead of schedule. I heard a lot of people see ahead of schedule. And I know Mikey was telling me, as long as we got the head coach and the quarterback, there's a window. I'm of the belief that windows in sports, especially the NFL, are very overrated. And I would prefer to go big fish hunting. I understand what Poles is thinking, what Mikey was saying, and what some others are saying. But I think you're playing with fire if you do that. I think if there is a reasonable deal to get a Max Crosby, you do that. I think if you're going to be relying on a Dio or Grady Jarrett or another year of Shamar Turner, I know he played decent before he got hurt, for them to take it to another level. And you really have no choice with Dio and Grady Jarrett because you owe them money this next season, which in retrospect, both of them deals kind of look crazy. And then drafting. And the thing with the draft is you don't have that many high draft picks. So you're going to have to get real creative. If executed right, yes, it'll pay off. But I'm not too sure that that's the right way the Bears should be going around this one. And I don't even think that they would do something like sign to Trey Hendrickson and maybe trade for somebody like a Chris Jones or something. Because it just doesn't feel like, from the whispers that are out right now, and obviously it's Lions season, that's gonna happen. And I'm a little worried about that. Bane, what do you think about this type of strategy? Do you think it's smart? Do you think they're playing with fire by taking this kind of cautious homegrown approach?
Nah, well, when it comes to the defensive line, not in this draft. This is a draft heavy with D tackles and edge rushers. So this year, I don't mind that. You got a couple of people um, that may reach 25 that could be capable. Like I'm looking at TJ Parker from Clemson, who was being looked at as a top 10 pick before the season. Him and Clemson didn't necessarily have the best season, but that's somebody that may drop. And his combine was pretty decent. His Senior Bowl was decent. So this is somebody that can come back into the first round, and you could probably get you another or a potential edge rusher or D tackle in the second round too. So if this was any other draft, I would probably be like, yeah, no, go ahead and go and do that. But with this one right here, with the talent on the edge and then the D tackles, I'm not necessarily worried about that. However, if it's out there for you to get, go and make the calls and see what it's going to take. I said months ago when we started talking about Max Crosby that I'm not so sure that I'm giving up a Michael Parsons type deal for Max Crosby. Not sure about that. Now for Myles Garrett,
What do you mean
yes.
by like a Micah Parsons deal? 'Cause I
A
did
three
see.
first
I
rounds.
don't know if it
I'm
was
not giving up three first.
Pelissero.
Yeah, people
Well,
talking
here's
about.
one for you.
Go
I
ahead.
think it was Daniel Jeremiah said it would take like a first rounder and maybe like 2 third rounders. Would you do that for Max Crosby?
No,
Interesting.
no, it
I do.
and not this
I
year.
would in a
I'm saying
heartbeat.
not
Yeah.
this year is what I'm saying. Not if this draft wasn't stocked with that talent that I feel like can be beneficial for the Bears, not this year when you have other holes on that team. Like I mean, we're gonna be talking about the left tackle position a little bit later. There's no guarantee on that side of the ball right there. We still got the linebacker position that we got to look at. If we're going to be getting rid of Tremaine, I know a lot of people have pegged Demario Davis as
DeMarco
he's
Jackson.
old. Yeah, he's
Demario Davis.
dude from the Saints.
Dude from the Saints.
Yeah, dude from the
Buddy ass
Saints.
from the Saints.
Like he's 30. He's in his mid 30s, fam. Like no, there's still areas on this defense that they need talent, and that is the D tackle and the linebacker, the front seven. They need it. So if it was any other year, I would say yeah, go ahead and go do that. But this year, because they need so many things on that in that front seven, I'm not so sure that I would do that. However, before Dante say I'm crazy, if that call were to happen, I'm probably gonna say yeah, let's go ahead and do it if I'm posed. But where I sit right now, I don't know if I'll do that because there's so many holes that you have on that front seven.
And the DeMarco Jackson thing is like something that Chicago sports fans do all the time. We fall in love with like the bench player who kind of played more than we thought he would. We did the same thing with Jack Sanborn, and there's a great portion.
And I meant
of Bears
Demario Davis,
fans.
fam. That's what I meant from the Saints. Demario Davis. That's what I meant from the Saints.
Oh, so we talking about a different dude.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Demario Davis. There's a lot of people. Yeah,
I'm talking about DeMarco Jackson.
Right, there we go. There we go, Orlando. Like Demario Davis is like 37 years old. He played
DeMario Davis is older than Bang. I'm good.
Yeah, no, technically he's not older than me, but no, he's
That's
37.
hilarious.
I think he's 37 years old. He played under Dennis Allen with the Saints. And he's still out there moving, but I'm not giving up Tremaine Edmonds to go get a 37-year-old linebacker. I'm just not doing that. That's wild. To me, that's wild. This guy go black.
He did.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I have no idea what happened. And you know what's funny is black on one, but it's not black on the other.
That is wild.
Can y'all
Yeah.
see me?
No, we
No,
cannot.
I see a black line.
But I'm gonna keep talking while you figure that out.
Go ahead.
I think it's just the money spent is the issue. Like Dago has the same cap hit as Joey Bosa. He don't play like Joey Bosa. Like, you know, when I saw that stat, that was something that really alarmed me. So it's really one of those things where you can't fall into that trap with you being ahead of schedule. Like me, when I say ahead of schedule, that don't mean slow up. So,
Yeah.
you know, you can't fall into that trap of, okay, we ahead of the schedule. Let's see if we can get healthy and this works. How many times have we tried to do that and things have failed significantly? So it's one of those issues where if you can make a move, I saw something that said 2 firsts and a starter for Max Crosby.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But if you can get, you know, 1 starter, DJ Moore, a DJ Moore first round pick, and you know, a second or a third, you know, or something like that, then we could possibly do that. We could talk about that. Because I think Max could have that type of impact when you put him with Sweat. Obviously, you're gonna make some moves, cut some people, remove some folks from that aspect. But I think that's the only way I would do that. But I think I agree that there is a lot of depth in this draft. I just don't want to fall into the trap of just waiting for somebody to develop. Like that's my thing.
Yeah,
I can go get
no.
it. Because like, promise, this is my question to you. When you say you wouldn't make certain trades, are you certain that you can get a rookie that would give you the same impact as Max Crosby in 2026? Like, you can't. Like, it's just not gonna happen.
I think it depends. It depends who's there. Like, I mean, we still in combine mode, so it really just depends who's there. That's why I said, like, if somebody called me now, I'm making that deal. You called me a couple of weeks from. You called me after this combine, I'm probably looking like, yo, nah, I don't know. And I do like TJ Parker. Like, I do like him. He has enough speed on the edge. And he can play the run too. And that's the other thing. And that's the other thing too. When I heard Ryan Pohl say they're looking for speed on the other side of the ball, Max Crosby is not speed to me. Like, he's a bull. He's not necessarily speed to me. So it sounds like they want somebody that's lean and just. It sounds, if I were to put a player out there, it sounds like they want a Javon Curse out there.
But when I heard the speed part, I took that as secondary. I took that as both our safeties might not be back. Like, I was thinking. I'm thinking when I think speed, I'm thinking more so safeties and linebackers, especially.
Well, no, he said on the D line. He said they looking for speed on the edge.
Yeah.
So when I heard that, I'm like, that ain't necessarily Max Crosby.
I mean, Max is a disruptor. So if you can get a guy like that, I think that's a situation where, like, it all depends on the package they want. Like we said, we didn't expect the Khalil Mack, even though it's a different regime, but we didn't expect the Khalil Mack deal to happen.
I didn't expect that.
And so, you know, it all depends on that package, bro. But I think more so with the money you spent, you had guys get hurt. Grady missed games. They go out for the season, like you said. The rookie from Texas A&M. But it's just too much to just sit there and rely strictly on, you know, if this person bounces back.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm not cool with. Like, before we pass to Scott, I'm not trying to draft nobody in the third or the fourth round and try to develop them. Nah, go find you a gym, and if you go find a best player and let it be known. Hey, find you a best player available at 25 on that defensive side and go from there. But no, I'm good on I picked this shining prospect in the fourth round and I feel like he's capable. No, you find you a one grade talent at number 25, whether it is McDonald from Ohio State or whether it's Parker. And God forbid if Ruben Bain drops because his arms are short and he get to 25, you pounce on that. Yeah. Don't be waiting to the third round and being like, I'm about to go get this unfinished product.
Yeah, no, and to the point, you do build your defense through the draft, but I think it's nothing wrong with spending money on the defensive line. Draft linebackers, motherfuckers you need to replace real quick. Safety, there's a lot of athletic, guys who play these skill positions. Those guys you can cycle in and out of there get them, hey, you can just go. Your job is a point A, point B type stuff. But if you got to spend a little bit to get somebody on that line, I say do it.
Don't get it.
Yes, I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's like the camera went out on a laptop, but it was shown on the iPad. It was weird. Then the audio went out in my headphones. But anyway, we're back. Just quickly, man. Rumors about Trent Williams. For those of you who don't know, Trent Williams and the San Francisco 49ers are trying to negotiate a contract restructuring. And if they don't come to a number that both parties like, then he's going to be a free agent. Me and my brother had a nice little spirited debate about this on 79th and Hollis, which is on the Patreon right now if you want to check it out. He said he wouldn't spend money on Trent Williams because he's older. I said, if you're trying to just get on this window real quick, I would sign him for no more than a 2-year deal. He played 16 games last season, still at a pretty decent level when he does play. And there's not many other options to fill that left tackle position. I would personally do it. My question to y'all, do y'all bring him in if you're the Bears?
Goddamn, yes. You brought Jason Peters' old ass up in here a couple of years ago.
Remember Orlando Pace?
Oh, look, fam, this ain't even long for me. This ain't even a long topic. If they let go of Trent Williams and Trent Williams has interest in the Bears, sign him if he wants to come. That man still got about 3 years left in him. He would be the perfect swing tackle. You ain't got to waste no draft capital this year on trying to go get another left tackle. Him and Tooney on the same side. Go Dante.
Ain't nothing else to be said.
Ain't nothing else to be said.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you said, you do that 1,000%, and it gives big fella an opportunity to really rest and heal and try to come back for 2027. And then, like you said, you have Trent who can end his career as the perfect swing tackle whenever you need somebody. Like you said, I think he's still elite. It's one of those situations where you want to protect Caleb at all costs, no matter how much of a musician he is. So I would do it 1,000%.
Well, I think we all agree on that one. Bear Stadium.
Man, boy, him and Tooney on the left side, boy, that's the Hall of Fame left side.
Hall of Fame left side. And you got the old men regime. That you need grown men on your offensive line.
Old men ushering niggas out the club. There you go.
Right, exactly. I'm very safe with Tooney on one side and Trent Williams on the other. Sign me up. So I'm hoping they don't agree to a deal. But something tells me the Niners going to give him a good number. Like, I don't think they're going to let him walk. I would be kind of surprised. But Bear Stadium. So I don't know if that much has changed in the week that we talked about this. And honestly, I'm kind of tired of talking about it. But it's content. It's in the news. And we still got to talk about it. It feels like Illinois still hasn't learned, and they still want to do this by their own terms. They passed the bill the other day, but they put out a press release, I think it was the day before, saying that the Bears have a Chicago problem. I'm saying Chicago got a Chicago problem. For those who don't know, a lot of these Chicago politicians don't want to allow the Bears to leave the city without them paying the remaining owed money they had from the renovations that were done like 25 years ago. Let's be very clear about one thing. The Bears are never playing that off. And the big roadblock to me right here is that these Chicago politicians don't want to get off their high horse to let this deal really go down. I said this on 79th and Hollis a couple days ago. I still believe Indiana is a possibility. But as the days go by, I think it's more of a bluff more than anything. And it's just more of a negotiation tactic to get Illinois, or in this position, Chicago, to give them what they want. Bang, is there anything different from what we have learned a week ago, in your opinion?
Nope. Nope. I still think it is too early to tell. I think we'll find out a lot of stuff in March. That's one. The other part of it is too is Indiana is busted wide open for the Bears. It's there. And it feels like to me that the Bears might be doing whatever they can to not say yes to Indiana. They're doing whatever they can to get, and it might not be necessarily the Bears. It might not be Kevin Warren. It might be the McCaskey family because they hear all of this stuff. Oh, we don't Hammond Bears and all that. Like this is still a mom and pop organization. So, so with a mom and pop organization, they're not the organization that don't give a shit. Like mom and pop organizations give a damn about the people that's around them, and they're gonna be the ones like, if this was a venture capitalist or something like that, they would have said, "Yo, we moving to Hammond, we don't care, and we buying everything else over there. We don't give a damn about the fans." So the fact that this is still going on, it makes me feel like they're doing whatever they can to allow Illinois to give them what they need, so they don't have to do it. With that being said, I ain't seen nothing right there. I ain't seen nothing from anything Illinois that is going to be able to make this happen. Indiana is giving them everything. And there's not a business person alive that will look at that deal and say, you know what? Let's give Illinois a chance. So I think that Pritzker and company are playing with the mind of the McCaskies and saying, "Hey, you listening to your fans? You see what the fans talking about? They ain't trying to do that." On the flip side of it, you got business people who are probably in the background saying, F them fans. They gonna love Hammond when they see it. They gonna come. We build it. They come. And they gonna love it. So I think it's mom and pop versus business that's going on right now.
The Chicago Bears will not be leaving Illinois. Let's just start there. This is like you said, has been a negotiation ploy, but negotiation tactic. But I think it's been a bad one. I've been on the other end of this with a lot of people who've been talking about it, trying to force the state's hand. When it's as it turns out, JB is trying to he's been trying to get a mega projects bill passed for a while anyway. It was just more so the selfish way in which the Bears went about trying to get it. That was the problem. And then when you rush and get this deal in Hammond, which by the way, the state of Indiana still owes about, I'll say 500 to 600 million on Lucas Oil Stadium. And Joe, one half of 79th and Hallis, did a great job of tweeting out about Hammond. For those that don't know, like the median income in Hammond is like $40,000 or something like that. Like it's a poor town, and you're telling them you're going to go build a brand new stadium and entertainment district on marshland and expect people to travel out there to just stop. I think the real thing here is, and Brandon Johnson talked about it. It was the new guy, the guy who was chewing gum during his presentation. For those who were, caught off guard by what he was, the gum chewing, what he was actually trying to present was a publicly owned stadium on the lakefront. So I think the city is still in play. But I think more than anything, they will end up in Arlington Heights. It's just a matter of time. We point to the newest stadium so far. When you look at the deal that they did, Kroenke paid for everything, and he ended up with a sweet tax deal. And that's what the Bears are trying to negotiate. They don't mind paying for the infrastructure, but it's the tax deals. They were about to be charged, I believe, 25% higher than 25% higher than any other deal that had ever been signed. So it was just a lot of missteps about solidifying the parameters around that. But I think at the end of the day, the deal will get done. The Bears will not be leaving Illinois because, bang, like you said, it is a mom and pop organization. As much as we want to talk about George McCaskey, he loves Chicago. That's one thing we may not know about other owners, but we know George McCaskey loves that city. He's not leaving Illinois. I don't care how close it is. I understand. It's closer than Arlington Heights, but no, they will be in Illinois. It's just a matter of where. But the deal will get done.
I guess my question is, what's going to take to actually just get this done? This is the point right now where Illinois, the state isn't even meeting again to the 18th of March, when they could have did another vote a couple of days ago, and they was like, I don't think so. I think that's the irritating part for fans because we're in the know. We know people who really know this stuff, and to give us information that we may not actually know ourselves. But the average fan don't know what they're reading about, don't know what's going on. I've had people text me like the Indiana move was done already. So I understand why fans are upset, even though I kind of went off on fans last week. But I get why they're upset to an extent because not the Bulls, but the Bears are doing this in the public eye. And it's just leaving Bears fans confused, especially during the offseason when there's nothing else to talk about. So I'm with you, Dante. I do believe when the dust actually settles, they will be in Arlington Heights because I don't believe George McCaskey wants to leave the state. I don't think the Bears want that bad PR that's going to come with leaving the state. And more importantly, if they're going to be building a Bears town, the land around Arlington is bigger than the land in Hammond. And also the Bears paid money for that site. And we were just talking about money and owners earlier. They don't have that kind of money to just be buying land and not doing anything with it. So I do believe it'll get done. It's just what's going to be the thing that gets this deal across the line. That's what I'm kind of wondering.
I mean, infrastructure and what they want. That's what's gonna get it across the line. Um, the Bears say they're gonna put up the money to do this. They got the money to do that. The infrastructure part
Yeah, it's
is
a
going to
40-year
be
tax
changed.
freeze.
Yeah, and that's what that is right there. Um, again, they want that they're trying everything they can to not say yes to Indiana.
It's gonna take. They're dragging it out because, like JB said, we're not gonna get muscled by a team. They've seen other states get muscled. They've seen the Chiefs just hold Kansas City and just say
Basically,
we're gonna go across the state lines, which that stadium deal is horrible. So I mean, it's one of those things. It's just take times, egos, everybody gonna cool their heads and prevail. The team will be in Illinois.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about these quarterbacks, man. I feel like the quarterback market is pretty stepped on right now. I read something from Jordan Schultz the other day that said backup Packers quarterback Malik Willis is looking for $30 million a year. Look, man, I thought he did solid in the time that Jordan Love was hurt, not just this year, but last season. But 30 million a year, black man, get your money. But the quarterback market is stepped on when Malik Willis can ask for $30 million a year and teams have to actually consider it. And so that's why when I see tweets like, oh, well, the Bears, I don't know, they're asking too much for Tyson Bagent. You got dudes like Tua and Kyler Murray who are about to get cut and get another payday because the quarterback market is just so bad. I want to say everybody talks about we're in a golden age of quarterbacks because we got a lot of elite guys like Lamar, Pat, Josh Allen, Burrow. I believe Caleb's going to be in that conversation by the end of next season. But there's a lot of bad. And it goes back to what Bang has been saying. We don't have any mid-tier quarterbacks. Because Malik Willis, I can't even count him as mid-tier. What do you think? Do you think this is just like how the game is now, where we're just going to be paying these guys because the quality is shit? Or this is just like something that we're in a kind of like in a blimp right now?
Well, this is the problem when you live. This is the problem when you live and die by a market. When you sit here and say, well, this person is slotted here, so this guy has to get this. And it's one of those situations where, when that happens, people get overpaid. We saw it with the NBA when they came out with the max contracts and certain people started getting huge deals. And then when teams had to fill out rosters, you had no disrespect to Kelly Oubre, but I think Kelly Oubre, like guys of that caliber, that those role players signed in 85, deals giving them $20-30 million a year. So quarterback is similar. As the top continues to rise, those at the bottom are just going to continue to get more. So him asking for that isn't shocking. I don't know if he'll actually get it, but I mean, we all remember when Jimmy Garoppolo got paid. So like the idea of a backup getting paid a big check The buddy, I forgot his name. That's crazy. The one who was supposed to be the starter in Seattle, but Russell Wilson came and took his job. Matt Castle.
Flynn.
Matt Flynn. Matt Flynn.
No, it wasn't Matt Castle. It was
Matt
somebody
Flynn.
else.
Matt Flynn.
Matt Flynn.
But yeah, you see it happen. So the idea of him getting 30 million ain't really, it wouldn't shock me just because that's how it goes. But it's all because of this, market that we locked ourselves into, and you feel like you have to pay a guy because this guy's getting that.
Man, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, that's the market. And it's not like he gonna be getting that. He's probably gonna get a 2-year of that. So a 2-year deal with that. So it's really the market. But I wanna play on what you said that the market is mid. I miss this time. I miss mid quarterbacks. I miss that mid-level quarterback. Everybody is always shooting and thinking that you got to get a Patrick Mahomes or you got to get a Drake May or you got to get a Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, and stuff like that. No, a mid-tier quarterback will take you somewhere too. Like, let me ask y'all this question: if we were to rank Sam Darnold, what number ranking would you give him in the top quarterbacks in the NFL? Is he top 10, top 15?
No.
15, top 15.
I put him at a good 12 or 13.
That's mid. We back,
Right.
y'all.
But Malik Willis ain't even that high.
But here's the thing, like that's because he hasn't he's developed. That's the other part that we're missing. Like, everybody ain't got to be a top 5 quarterback to win. That's one. And two, we miss development. Y'all got to remember, Malik Williams came from Liberty. He came from Liberty University. I don't know no good player that came out of Liberty University. He need development. If Malik Williams was in the NIL era, he would be Cam Ward, who went from Incarnate Ward to Washington State to Miami. Like that right there, we missed that time. And Hood's in there. So let me throw out a couple of mid quarterbacks that won Super Bowls back in our day, like Mark Ripken, or went to a Super Bowl like Stan Humphries and Neil O'Donnell. Like, we back in the. It's almost
you throwing
like
a lot of names out there.
Like, it's almost like the NFL is getting back to run the ball, play some good defense, have you a decent quarterback, and you gonna get somewhere. So Malik Williams, he sat behind Jordan Love. He developed under Matt LaFleur. We have not talked about development a lot, and we have not talked about the fact that you could be a top 10, 15, or even 20 quarterback and still do something in this league with a good defense. So wherever Willis goes, he better go with a good defense. Don't go to some mid-ass defense and think you're going to do something. And right now, like, I know Miami is a team that they're talking about because of, they want to be Green Bay South, or Arizona because of Mike LaFleur. Of course, he talks to his brother, all of that stuff. He better go with a good defense, though, because he needs to be around the team. And you know what? It's about time that the NFL is back to that. Shouts out to Stan Humphries and Neil O'Donnell and Mark Ripken.
Speaking of mid, Aaron Rodgers. So there's a little rumor out here right now that Aaron Rodgers could be returning to the NFC North and following his daddy's life plan again by playing from the Jets and now playing for the Minnesota Vikings. Now, we all know the Vikings are desperate for a quarterback because they made wrong decision of getting rid of Super Bowl champion Sam Darnold for a quarterback who goes by the name of 9, who ain't even played 9 games. That is J.J. McCarthy. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to give myself the camera here. I beg you, please come back to the NFC North. I would want nothing more than to carry your old ass out of Soldier Field or U.S. Bank, wherever you please, on a stretcher. Because you took that from me last year when you decided to be a chump and troll Bears fans like you was gonna play. I was at the stadium like 2-3 hours early. I seen the middle finger you gave to the cameraman doing your little warm up. I beg you, please come back so we can put you in the dirt. Because we have a quarterback now. I am not scared. This team is not scared. If I don't have any fear for the Green Bay Packers as an organization, why do you think I have fear of a senior citizen? Please come back, Aaron Rodgers. I want nothing more. Bang, I know you're on my side with this one.
First of all, shouts out to Kerry Collins, who also took a team to a Super Bowl mid. Yeah, no, come slide. I hope he do. I hope he does. I mean, of course, I want the Bears to put him on his ass and get him out of here like Brett Favre got put out of here. But it's gonna make the competition better. Y'all know how I feel about J.J. McCarthy. He's the future head coach of Nazareth Academy in LaGrange Park. And he's going to lead them to a couple of state championships, before he turned 35. So y'all already know how I feel about dude. And I know how everybody else feel about him too. So, I can't wait till Aaron Rodgers come over here.
Yeah, I do think it'll make the division even more fun, which is already fun as it is. You got the Bears-Packers rivalry renewed. You got the Detroit Lions. They're going to try to get back in blood next year. The Vikings, as bad as they were, won 9 games. So that will be intriguing for Aaron Rodgers. But more than just making the division interesting, I want my look back. I got my look back on Green Bay. I want my look back on Aaron Rodgers. Dante, thoughts on this?
I don't give a damn about Aaron Rodgers, man. At this point, I do not care at all. We actually, we going well right now.
Come down here now.
And that's funny as hell, bang. But no, it's nothing I could care about. Like him following Brett Favre's footsteps would be really corny to me. But I mean, at this point, he's going where he feels like he can get a Super Bowl, and this is a team that, like you said, despite everything that happened, they won 9 games last year. You still have Justin Jefferson. You still, I don't know if Jordan Addison will be in prison, but you still have some potentially good guys. So it's one of those situations where if Aaron Rodgers were to go there, that is a team that would continue to make that team competitive, continue to make our division competitive, but. As far as me wanting him to come back so we can see that, I don't care, bro. You can go wherever.
See, Dante, you're healed. I'm not.
Yeah, like, go live with your AI wife, bro. Like,
I ain't healed either.
Yeah, go live with your AI life, Brittany, like with an eye.
This motherfucker married a Claude bot. Get this guy out of my face, bro.
This dude married a Claude bot. He's the weirdest dude ever. Like, how you have what they call it, the wags, the wife and the girlfriends of the team ain't never met your girl. You're the quarterback. That ain't weird. He's definitely dating R2D2, 100%. Last topic before we go into what we watching for the week. Dante, I'm gonna let you lead us on this one. Now we're in spring training. Pitchers and catchers are reported. We got a couple games that's been going on. I know because Mikey is sending White Sox highlights to the chat every day.
75 wins loading, baby.
75? How many did they have last year?
It's like 64 or some shit like that.
Okay, I think that's a fair number. They're not going to be fun bad, though. I don't think they're going to. I think they're putting up the fun bad boulevard. They're not there yet. But anyway, everybody talking about the Dodgers, all the money they spending. As I told everybody back in last May, that the Dodgers are going to sign Kyle Tucker. I call him that Kyle Tucker. And they did it. Dante, my question to you is, how close are we to an actual lockout in the 2027 season?
100%. It's going to happen. Right? It's going to happen. Just get ready for it. Prepare. Enjoy this season. Go to as many games as you possibly can because we're going to have a lockout. It's one of those things where the owners are pushing more than ever. They just floated actual numbers today about what a salary cap ceiling and floor will look like in Major League Baseball. The ceiling would be anywhere from 260 to 280. For those who don't know, the Dodgers payroll is about 370 right now, so they would have to share the 110 just for perspective. And the floor would be 160, 140, 160. That would be about 10 teams that would need to spend like $110 million to get up to that threshold. So I mean, it would, in theory, help baseball, but the reality is it would just do nothing but suppress wages. And if you are a union, the last thing you're going to do is put any structure in that suppresses wages. But it's also, just on the flip side, not to play devil's advocate, because I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they need a salary cap. This is the league with the most parity out of any of the big three in America. When you look at it, if you're talking about lesser players, guys who aren't the superstars, who aren't the Scott Boras clients, this will help them get paid. If you have their floor, you're going to have more guys who have to get paid, as opposed to I can pay for as many top tier guys as I want. And, for those, we talk about the Dodgers a lot. People don't realize the reason the Dodgers are able to spend the way they spend is not just the TV deal. They got their TV deal when the former owner was going through divorce and he filed for bankruptcy. And so it's locked into where the Dodgers get to keep a certain amount of money away from the rest of the league. So it actually is a problem. It's not fair. And I'm somebody who agrees with the Dodgers spending their money how you want to. But they have an unfair advantage in the amount of money that they get. That's why you're starting to see more teams trying to be like the Braves and build a battery-style entertainment complex around it so you can get that revenue from that way. Because the TV deal, no matter how much people look at it and say, well, the Dodgers got one, it's not going to ever hit like that. That was just a special scenario, special case. But because of that, and because their owner is willing to spend that money, 100% we're going to a lockout. It's not if, it's when.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be a long one because I'm anti-salary cap in all sports. I don't like bailing billionaires out. Yeah. Especially billionaires like the New York Yankees. Like, I've seen Yankee fans getting mad about the Dodgers. Y'all used to be that.
Yeah.
Like, Big George, the boss is rolling over in his grave.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think with sports in general, especially as we get older, somebody said this about the NBA, but it matters in baseball too. It's one of those things where we grew up in leagues that were owned and operated by multimillionaires. And now we're in leagues that are owned and operated by billionaires who have a team of accountants who are saying, strip this down to the screws, cut back here, save money there. So it's a different approach for everything. So it's a lot tougher. And now, again, you're going to have the ones who don't want to spend, who are going to ruin it for the owners who don't mind spending. Like, you have a guy like Steve Cohen with the Mets who flat out told you, tax me what you want to tax me. I don't care. I'm going to spend. He said that, like, and he was talking about his personal life and the football team. Baseball team. So when you have owners like that, and then you have a Jerry Reinsdorf who called the owner of the Texas Rangers an idiot for paying Marcus Semien $160, and then the Rangers went on to win the World Series that year. It's not that much you can do. Like, that's just what the owners are going to spend the way they want to spend. And right now, the consensus is, I think a lot of them are okay with the salary cap. I don't know if no. From a player standpoint, they won't agree to it. I think the owners, the ones that don't mind it, will probably just get overruled and have to go with the majority. But this is going to get nasty. I think, I hate to say it, but we may miss the entire 2027 season, and it may bleed into 2028 because, one thing about being rich, you can be as stubborn as you want.
You can do what you want. Right.
That's what we forget about these owners. These are, side quests for them. They make their money somewhere else. So if it shuts down on this side, yeah, you can hate them, but hey, they're so insulated. They don't see you. They don't really care. So I hate to say it.
Was the last long holdout? What's it called?
Lockout.
Lockout. Right. Was that 95?
Or was 95 after that?
It was 95.
But see, no, that's the thing. A strike and a lockout is two different things. A strike is when the Players Association says, "Hey, we out of here." This is going to be the owner saying, "No, you cannot come to work." Like, this is way worse.
We locked the doors.
Yeah. This is way worse.
So Dante, my question, and I think it was said up in the chat. Yeah, Orlando said it feels like it's going to be owners versus owners up in hand. You kind of mentioned that too. So my question is it's kind of similar to the Bears thing that I had said earlier, how they're mom and pop organization. So they're gonna think about the fans more than these venture capitalists, these people out here that's just billions. And like I said, it's a side quest. How many owners out there this is a side quest for in baseball versus the mom and pops? Like, do we have them anymore? It's like the Steinbrenners, the last of the dying breed of that. And how could that affect the lockout if you have more owners that's willing to spend that bread versus these owners that probably make a decent amount off of this team. And if a lockout were to happen, yo, I might be SOL.
Well, yeah, that's the thing with baseball. Like, it's not like football and basketball where you see a higher turnover of private equity and venture capital money coming into it. It's slowly but surely happening, but it's not the same rate. You still have the ownership group in Cincinnati that's owned, family owned. Pittsburgh is still family owned. We talk about the Reinsdorf family, talk about Milwaukee, talk about Tampa. It's a lot of teams that they don't want to spend. You have I'm sure the league is probably pissed at him for saying this, but the owner out in Anaheim who flat out said, we don't care about winning. Like, the fans don't care about winning. Like, he's
They
saying
care about the fan experience.
yeah. So like when you got people saying stuff like that, it's gonna be interesting to see how they align themselves, because they all at the end of the day they know they make money. And I think it's just one of those situations now when we see this in society as a whole, when you actually have a certain small collective of rich people who are saying, all right, now this is kind of absurd. Like, we could spend and not be ridiculous and still be the 1%. When you have others who are like, no, we're gonna tighten the screws, we're no longer painting things red, white, and blue. Everything is gray because that's the cheapest paint, that type of shit. And so it's gonna be interesting, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You do have those who care about the fans, and surprisingly in baseball, it seems like the people who spend money are the ones who care, not the mom and pop. It's not like with McCaskey. It's the other way around. The people who got money, who are like, this is a side quest, this is my little toy. Like Steve Cohen just got the bill passed to put the casino in front of Citi Field. Like, so, they're spending money. The Dodgers have just renovated Dodger Stadium. Like, the people who are spending money are spending money. Toronto, that ownership group, the Rogers, they own the Rogers Center. It's whatever telecommunications company that is. Bro, they said they don't care. Like, they basically said, we're going to spend money. And they already know they have to deal with the Canada tax. So trying to get people to come across the border. But the people that want to spend money are the ones who are the new money. And that's what's surprising. So it's going to be interesting to see if they can, battle the old heads. Because you remember, Reinsdorf didn't even want Steve Cohen to get the Mets. Like, he fought that tooth and nail. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah, he definitely tried to block him getting approved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with Gary putting that to my soccer could overtake baseball. Baseball's playing with fire right now.
Yeah,
I
they really
do.
They are.
Especially with the World Cup coming this summer. It could get tested.
Well, our president might mess that up, but you're right.
I got a hot take about that.
But
I don't think that much is gonna happen.
I'm gonna say, well, I like my freedom, so let's not,
I mean, I don't think that much is gonna happen. Like, I think people really sleep on how corrupt UEFA is, how corrupt FIFA is. If you want to know how corrupt they are, look up FIFA Unlocked on Apple TV Plus. They make the NFL look like a church league.
Oh, no, it's
like,
bad,
so
bro.
everybody's like, oh, it shouldn't be in America. First of all, I hate how Europeans turn up their nose on us, but that's a Summer Sessions episode. Do you know what happened in Qatar 4 years ago? People getting killed to build stadiums.
There's bodies in the stadium.
Yeah, there's bodies in the stadium. FIFA just put out an AI video last night saying that they're finna build FIFA academies in Gaza. So you think they care about a couple protests? Let's be real here. So I don't think it's gonna be that big of a deal that people are gonna make it out to. But anyway, let's go to what we watching. It's a new segment. Basically, we all gonna let y'all know what games that y'all should check out this weekend in any sport. It could be racing, it could be golf, it could be. I know Dante is real heavy in that. I'm gonna start with my what to watch for my NBA heads. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander returns to the lineup tonight. He will be taking on Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. This should be a good matchup right now. If you look at the standings, the Thunder have the Spurs on their behind right now. They are only a game and a half right up on the San Antonio Spurs. Spurs have won 11 in a row, and they really need this lead. This win, to further the gap between them and the Spurs, a team that they keep losing to, by the way. And you got Denver right now. Denver's in the 4th spot, and this is going to be a battle of the 2 MVPs from the last 2 years. So I think it's going to be entertaining. They had a 7-game series in the playoffs last year, so I think it'll be good. On the flip side, for my soccer heads out there, big weekend this weekend in the Premier League. You've got Dante's Manchester United back from the dead.
Glory, glory, Man United. We back.
With Aston Villa losing, if Man United beat Palace on Saturday, they're the 3rd spot in the Premier League over Liverpool, over Chelsea to get them Champions League spots. So I'm looking at that. Michael Carrick got them boys moving nicely. I got City facing Leeds. That's going to be a big matchup. Leeds, I need you to hold that down for me. Just take a point from them boys. And then the main match of the weekend, the team I hate the most, Chelsea Football Club. Arsenal going to try to take on another derby. We already dusted Spurs off last week. Going to send them the championship. So that's a big match. And if you're a big La Liga head, Barcelona taking on Villarreal. They're in a battle right now. Real Madrid, I think they're only up a point right now. So those are my games to watch this weekend in sports. And it's a couple weeks from now, but them Champions League matches looking pretty good. And shout out to us. We on the easy side of the bracket. So I'll see y'all in Budapest in June. So those are my games to watch this weekend. What y'all got?
Really, I've been trying to tap back in with the NBA, and so honestly, more so Sunday, the 2 teams I really been watching the most. The Spurs and the Knicks are playing. I think that's gonna be a really good game at 1:00. That's the matinee, but tap in with the Pistons, man. They should probably beat. They're gonna beat the Magic. It's not really about the Magic, but tap in with the Pistons, man. They're playing really good basketball. Cade Cunningham should be the top of your MVP talks because he's doing some great things up there. I might have to stay on the next episode, Pappy, and sit and talk some basketball because I've really been trying to tap in more lately. My boy Luke has been disappointing me with the complaining and the crying. But the Lakers are still, gonna be there when it's all said and done. So it's gonna be interesting to see how they work. And shout out to Jonathan Kuminga, man. That boy free.
Again.
That boy free, man. The Kuminga, the shackles of Steve Kerr have been removed from him, and he's out here in Atlanta doing this thing, bro. So I'm really interested to see what he does, bro. But other than that, that's all I got, Bang. What you got?
I got tomorrow night, and I wish I could go, but I need a new engine, so I ain't gonna be able to go nowhere. But tomorrow at the United Center, Chicago, Illinois, Elimination Chamber. WWE presents the Elimination Chamber, the first WWE pay-per-view event, PLE event at the United Center since 1995. A lot of people don't know that the WWE opened up the United Center with SummerSlam 1995. Shouts out to Jared Payton because I am still jealous of Jared for being in the ring with Razor Ramon and his father, the late, great, legendary Walter Payton. So tomorrow night, 6:00 start time, Elimination Chamber. And shouts out to Trick Williams, man. For those who be listening to us on First Black Champ, man, shouts out to Trick Williams. Trick Williams just may be the next major superstar in the WWE. I saw that man on TV all last week and on First Take. He had a great appearance on First Take. They loving that man right there. And he is probably the most over wrestler. So when he goes into Elimination Chamber tomorrow and y'all hear that whoop that trick tomorrow, he might not win. But hey, he's gonna be a standout just off the entrance alone. But shouts out to the crib, Elimination Chamber at the United Center tomorrow night. That's what I'm gonna be paying attention to this weekend.
Hey, Bang, real quick. This is the first wrestling event that you see in like 20-some years, right?
Yeah, since SummerSlam 1995.
Damn.
SummerSlam 19. Yeah, that was the SummerSlam 1995. That was under. Yeah, that was Undertaker versus The Undertaker, but that was the event that opened up the United Center. That was the first
Wow.
event ever at the United Center, SummerSlam 1995. And it's funny because I remember that day because my aunt couldn't get me tickets. So I stayed at the crib and watched Clash of the Champions while SummerSlam was going on at the United Center. But yeah, this is the first event since then because the WWE has always had a long-standing partnership with the Rosemont Horizon, aka the Allstate Arena. I know the big homie Jonathan Hood could talk about that a little bit more. But this is the first venture out there. TKO want them in the real big buildings, and they want them in the city. They don't necessarily want them in the suburbs because I always laugh when the WWE be like, "Yo, we're in Chicago, Illinois, Rosemont Horizon of the Allstate
Mine's
Arena."
Rosemont.
Like, fam, you in Rosemont, G.
I
You
hate
know,
Allstate
yeah,
Arena, bro. I feel like I'm
yeah.
going to like a high
You going
school
to
assembly.
it feel like you're going to O'Hare. That's what it feels like.
Yeah, well that too, but just it feel. Last time I was there was remember when Evolution reunited? It was like 2014, summer 2014. That's the last time I took my cousin to one of them WWE events. I forgot which one it was. That was a while ago, and it was like it looked dusty up in it. But
It's just an old building.
yeah, so that's the stuff you need to be watching this weekend, man. That is all we got for y'all. We will be talking basketball on the not Friday, but the Monday show. Mariana will be part of the crew on Monday. I got a lot of Laker takes to get off. So check out for that on Monday. Anything you guys want to promo before we wrap this up?
Man, first Black Champ. We preview. We got the episode out where we preview Elimination Chamber and give our predictions. I believe we're gonna be recording on Sunday, so we'll be talking about the recapping the event. So we got that, and then some dude to be back very, very soon.
All right. So look out for that. I will be back with y'all next week for the Patreon edition. Y'all have a good weekend. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, man. The link is right there in the description, or you can scan the QR code on the screen to get everything we've got on the Patreon. We uploaded a lot of stuff this weekend, not this weekend, but this week, and I will be uploading a lot of stuff continuously, especially the Patreon shows. So look out for that. You can subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/Barbershop Network. That link is in the description box, and also you can scan the QR code. All the links to everything we do, all three of our social media handles are in the description box. So y'all enjoy y'all weekend, and we gonna holler at y'all.